I'm a scientist and I'm a woman in STEM, and I'm competing in about 3 Filipino beauty pageants this year. So let's talk about it. Hey Salceologists, welcome back to my channel. Now, if you've been following me on my channel for a while, you would know that this time last year, it was actually June last year I competed in my very first Filipino community beauty pageant here in Melbourne, Australia. I competed in the Miss and Mrs. Philippine Grand Fiesta pageant that was held on a 2-day weekend at the Queen Victoria Market. I have so many vlogs on my channel from the moment I got recruited into that pageant to all the preparation that I did, all the DIY projects that I was doing, and the actual pageant itself and what went down. That's all on my channel if you want to have a look at it. So yeah, let's talk about what's going on in the beauty pageant space in 2026. Pre-warning, I know some of you guys have like the attention span of a goldfish and you can't listen to a video for more than like 3 seconds, but I will be probably talking a lot in this video. I'm a bit chatty, so grab a snack, grab a drink, and yeah, let's spill the tea. So when I competed in the pageant last year, everything was done on a 2-day weekend. I actually had to compete in the Mrs. portion of that pageant purely because of my age. That's not usually what happens. If you're not married, then you compete in the Miss, which was what I was hoping to do. But because the Miss candidates were so young, they were like 16 years old, the pageant management thought that it would better to move me to the Misses because I was like similar to their age range. And I was like, all right, whatever. I had so many friends and family members come to the Queen Victoria Market on the 2 days to come and watch me compete. A lot of them have never witnessed a beauty pageant like that before. So it was a very eye-opening experience for them. You know, I felt for my friends and family too, because it was held on one of the coldest weekends of winter last year as well. So everyone was like standing outside in the cold for hours, waiting for our pageant and waiting for the winners to be announced. Shout out to my family and friends who showed up for me on that weekend. I really appreciate you, especially for being out in the cold for so long. Unfortunately for that pageant, I didn't win and I didn't get placed at all. So there was a first, second, runner-up and the winner of the pageants for the Miss and the Misses. I had every intention to film a vlog like this after that pageant because I wanted to talk about my experience and my thoughts and feelings about it and everything like that. But immediately after the pageant, I was sick with COVID for like a week and I had to take time off work and everything just to focus on resting. I think I got sick for a few reasons. One was that I was out in the cold parading around in a gown for 2 days straight. Secondly, I was traveling to Canberra a few days before that pageant for work. Mind you, the day after the pageant, I had to submit an application for a STEM Innovation Award that I was applying for. I was like dead to the world the next day, but I was just trying to pull like an all-nighter to submit the application for the award. And so yeah, it was just very overwhelming. So I never got to film the vlog that I wanted to. For some reason, that particular pageant that I was involved in blew up in the media. So my social media channels started to get some traction. I started to get lots of followers on Facebook to the point where I was able to start getting monetized on Facebook for anything that I was posting. My Instagram was getting popular. I gained more followers there. My YouTube channel got a few more followers too and more traction. I was actually approached by a lot of people in the community who I didn't know after the pageant to network with me, introduce themselves, give me their business cards, and also to recruit me in their pageants. I did not know how many pageants there were in the Filipino community here in Melbourne, because we have a lot of Filipino local community committees here. And they host their own little pageants, and their pageants have their own rules. And people were approaching me. They're like, we really loved your performance. We'd love for you to join ours next year. Please get in touch with us, or please give us your number, and then we can contact you when it's time to recruit for that and everything. So it was, very interesting. Business-wise as well, Salceology sponsored that pageant that I joined, and the sponsorship that I provided was jewelry for the winners. Each of the winners of the Miss and the Misses got their own Salceology gift bag with jewelry in it. And some of the contestants were already social media influencers with a lot of following. And so they would post, themselves with the jewelry. They'd be wearing it. One of the candidates even wore our cardiac earrings as part of her wedding jewelry for her own wedding as the bride, which was insane to me. She bought it off me full price because, to support the business. I was invited to a lot of Filipino events post-pageant. I was getting sent them left, right, and center from different people in the community through Facebook. I must have done something to prove myself through that process, because I was getting invited to a lot of things afterwards. Unfortunately, because after the pageant I had a lot going on in my personal life, I dropped off the face of the earth and couldn't attend a lot of those events. One of the reasons was financial costs. As you guys know, that last year I was staying with my family because I was waiting for my brother to finish his master's and support him through his studies and support my family as well financially, being the breadwinner and everything like that. I just couldn't justify at the time going to these sorts of events when a ticket would cost $150 per head, not to mention the gowns and things you have to wear for each one. Once my brother did graduate and finish his master's, I moved out to a new apartment and I had to basically start from scratch again. And at that point, I think I've moved 4 times in the span of 2 years, and I was just physically exhausted. I just wanted the year to end last year. It was just a lot that I was dealing with. Then Christmas, then New Year's, and all the finances of that. You know how it is. So I kind of was a bit embarrassed saying that financially I couldn't go to these events, but I had to say no. I had to make a sacrifice. In hindsight, those events probably would have been really important because I could have built traction from the pageants to gain a bit more popularity in the community so people in the community could know me better. So I felt really guilty that I had to say no and make those sacrifices, because I know the importance of showing up to these things. I did go to one event, that was the charity gala that I went to last year, and we won an award as the star of the night. So that was fun. I was very grateful for the opportunities that I was getting, but there was a lot of things to think about. My intention to do the pageant was just a one and done thing. I was just meant to do it, get it out of my system, treat it like a hobby and an experience, and then move on. But it started to turn into something more. And there was a lot of things that I had to think about. I'm planning to go back into studies soon and do a PhD. Doing a PhD requires a lot of financial preparation for someone like me because I finance myself if I'm studying. I also am a lecturer, and, the uni timetable's a bit weird, and I also work in policy. Something that people need to understand about pageants, whether they're just community ones, is that they can be really political sometimes. Candidates use it as a platform to speak about different political issues that they care about, which is great. You know, it's like it's for advocacy basically. But when you work in policy like I do, I have to be really careful about joining activities that are very political, because we're meant to be apolitical as part of our jobs, you know. So there was just a lot of different things that I had to think about, and I just was a bit overwhelmed and needed some time to figure it out. I think the problem with me is I don't know how to have fun, you know? As the eldest daughter, I'm a perfectionist and I'm also very competitive. So even though the purpose of me joining that pageant was for fun, the fact that I lost really pissed me off. Like, I was so pissed off. I wasn't pissed off at like the judges or like the pageant management or anything like that. I was just pissed off in general that I didn't win. And that's just because I'm competitive by nature and I'm a perfectionist. A normal person would have let the experience go. They wouldn't dwell on it and be like, that was fun. Next experience, you know? Not me. What I did during the times I had COVID and I was in bed for 7 days, I just sat there looking at all the footage that I could find from the pageant. I made all my friends and family send me everything that they filmed. And I watched my performance frame by frame. And I watched the performance of the other pageant members frame by frame. And I pinpointed all of the different things that I did wrong. And I took a mental note in my head and said, whenever I compete in a pageant again, this is the game plan of what we're going to do different. Of course, people were really nice and they were like, don't be so hard on yourself, Angela. Like, you did your best. Like, it's all good. You can try again next year. And I'm like, I don't know if there's going to be a next year. You know, I was being really dramatic. If I knew what I knew now about what the best approach was for that pageant, I reckon that we could have won it. What can I say? I am very, very unhinged. I couldn't leave it well enough alone, you know? And I think because I was just reflecting on it and I was getting a bit annoyed and angry at my own performance, I was like to myself, maybe we shouldn't join pageants anymore because it's not really healthy for us. We're getting a bit obsessed. Now, fast forward to the start of 2026. The year of the fire horse has been a very interesting year. I felt like it's lit a fire in my ass to just follow my passions for some reason. This year I've just been really called to explore a lot of my creative ventures and see how far these creative ventures can take me. I don't know if it's because I'm fed up with working in the corporate environment. I don't know if I'm just getting fed up with not being able to advocate for the things that I care about. I don't know if it's because I'm sick of being a woman in the patriarchal system that we live in. I don't know if it's because I'm fed up with seeing influencers who sell pictures of their feet, buying their third property, and I'm still struggling. I don't know if it was the geopolitical climate and everything that was going on and the cost of living crisis and just fuel prices going up and everything becoming so expensive. I don't know what it was, but it really just wanted me to just focus on one of my creative ventures and hope one of them pops off this year because I'm getting really tired of working, you know? A lot of things were pissing me off at the start of the year, let me tell you. Just, like, for example, my businesses were losing traction from the traction I was gaining from the pageants. Sales were getting a little bit slower than usual because of the cost of living crisis. You know, people don't really want to buy jewelry if they can't afford groceries. And I remember talking to my best friend about it. I was like, I'm working so hard to build all of these things, posting all the time on social media, building my businesses from scratch. Nothing is working anymore. What do? I don't know what to do. You know, she's trying to calm me down and I'm just like going off the rails. I really wanted to find a creative venture this year to focus on that can help me advocate for the things that I care about. My portfolio in STEM, my businesses, all the creative ventures that I do on the side that gets featured on this channel, all of it is tied to my purpose to empower women to reach their potential, empower STEM women to reach their potential, improving access to education, to to access to healthcare and having a voice for vulnerable communities that don't have representation in rooms that are making decisions about their health and well-being. These are the sort of things that I care about, but I just feel like I wasn't doing enough to fulfill this purpose that I'm doing. And I was like, man, I need a sign. Like, I need an idea of something that I can pursue this year to do all of this advocacy work, right? A week later, I get a random message from one of the pageant aunties from last year that invites me to stuff. They haven't invited me to stuff for a while because I think after the first few times I kept saying no, I think they were getting a bit fed up with me. But I got another message. She was sending me invites to a couple of events that were happening later in the month. One was a masquerade ball for charity, and the other one was a disco night community event. And when she sent me those invites, as much as I wanted to go, again, it was just such bad timing. I was working 2 jobs, I was running the businesses, and I was just very honest with her. I'm like, look, I don't think I can come to these because financially they're a bit of a commitment, but if there are any pageants coming up, please let me know about them and I'll see if I can join them. She said, look, Angela, I think you have a lot of potential to win these pageants, but as someone who won my pageants in the past, because she was a beauty queen winner, as someone who has been in pageants before, it is important that you come to these events so that the community can get to know you. She's like, I believe in you, so I'm going to sponsor your tickets to these first 2 events and I want you to be there. And you can sit on my table with me. When you do get there, I can introduce you to some people so that we can get your foot in the door with the pageants coming up this year. Make sure this date, you're free and that you show up and that you're on my table. And I was like, okay. I'm like, wow. Well, I can't really say no to that, can I? I learned that being a beauty queen candidate for beauty pageants, whether it's local or something above that, it is very similar to being part of a political campaign for an election. You have to be present in community events. You need to be involved in the community so that people can get to know you. You can't hide yourself from the world because you are shy or because you've got a lot of things going on. You have to commit to bringing your light into the world and showing people who you really are. And that's basically what she said to me. She was like, I think you have a lot of potential. I feel like you're hiding yourself and you're very shy. And I think it's time for people to see who you are. She's like, I believe that when people get to know you, people are going to love you and they're going to support you in your pageant journey. You know, whether it's talking about you or being involved in your advocacies or actually sponsoring you and supporting your pageant journey through monetization or through brand awareness and brand collaboration. There will be a lot of support for you when people get to know you, but you have to really put yourself out there. I also came across this really interesting TikTok video of the Miss Philippines that just got crowned this year. She was explaining how pageantry really tied into political advocacy due to colonization. A lot of Filipino women didn't really have a voice to speak up on things that they cared about. So they would join beauty pageants and then use the stage and the platforms to talk about the causes and what they cared about so that it could increase awareness. It's why the Filipino community take pageantry really seriously. They hold their beauty queen candidates to the same political standard as their politicians because of this advocacy that we have on the stage. When I saw this video, I was like, oh, there it is. There's the sign. I get it. Got to join the pageants again this year. It's the creative venture that I've asked for. Okay, fast forward to the community events that I attended this year. When I attended the disco night, I was actually with my family on a separate table. And on the other side of the dance floor, one of my aunties from my childhood, like someone that I knew from like 30 years ago, was at this event and I hadn't seen her in decades. Her daughter and I were childhood friends. So when I saw them, I had a chat to them. I was like, oh my God, it's been such a long time. And she was like, Angela, I heard that you competed in the pageant last year. I tell you what, I am part of a committee for the Miss and Mrs. Philippine Fiesta 2026 pageant this year. I really want you to join. She was the one sponsoring the crown and the sashes for that pageant. She was like, I really want you to join this one. Can I please have your number so I can give it to the committee members so that they can contact you when we're about to start the recruitment and the orientations for it? And I was like, wait, is this the one that's attached to the Laverton Fiesta? The Laverton Fiesta market is the one that my mum competed in. And she's like, yes, it's the same one. It's the one that your mum competed in 1999. And I was like, yes, I'm joining. Great. After talking to my auntie, I was just so blown away because I was like, this is so insane. Out of all the people that would offer me that opportunity, that pageant opportunity that I've been waiting for to compete in mum's pageant, it was given to me by an auntie that I've known for so many years from my childhood. What a coincidence. I also tripped out too because I was like, damn, if I didn't get invited to this disco night, I wouldn't have received that opportunity. I don't know if I would have even been recruited at that time. Fast forward to the masquerade ball. Across the table from us, there was the Gippsland Filipino community who was also hosting their own pageant. Their beauty pageant is called the Miss and Mrs. Australasia pageant. I got introduced to them and I've been recruited for their Australasia pageant. I was approached by the pageant director of the Face of Australia beauty pageant. This particular beauty pageant is next level. It's not really a community one anymore. The best way I can describe it is it's more like a state level pageant where if you win it, you can compete internationally on an international stage. Naturally, this particular pageant had a fee to join. It was about a $600 fee. And unfortunately, I had to say no to that. I'm not in a position to be paying fees financially to join pageants, especially because I'm such a rookie and I don't have enough experience. You need a lot of people's support and sponsorships to be competing at the state and international levels. There would be no way that I could afford to fund all of my gowns and campaigns and things on my own. So I had to say no to that one. And lastly, I've also been recruited in the Batang Mindanao pageant this year. The Batang Mindanao charity is co-chaired by my Filipino auntie who has decided to be my pageant advisor as well. The one that gave me the opportunity and sponsored my events so far this year. And I've been recruited for that pageant already. I've actually got about 3 tables of people who are coming to watch me already. I've got friends from my biomedicine alumni group coming on one table. I've got aunties and my family on another, and my Canberra friends on another table who are flying in. Some of the pageants are very straightforward. They just require me to walk around in a dress and the winner gets announced on the same night. Very straightforward pageant. But the other 2 pageants require a bit more of a commitment. One of the criteria for the pageants is to have a talent portion. I have to practice some sort of talent to perform in front of the audience. One of the other pageants has a question answer portion. So thinking about my answers, my advocacy, if they ask me certain questions, considering all I know how to do is run my mouth, I have no clue what my talent is going to be. So I need to figure that out pretty soon and start practicing. But I'm very excited for the question answer portions because, as you know, I talk a lot. So that's definitely one of my strengths in pageantry. So this is going to be an interesting experience. I've made this video at this point in time. I'm currently recruited into 3 beauty pageants. Every beauty queen candidate has like their own advocacy and the reason for joining them. My advocacy is to empower women in STEM to reach their potential, to improve access to healthcare, improve access to education, to destroy the stereotypes that people have about intellectual women. You can still be an intellectual woman and still join a beauty pageant and still be successful in it. I'm taking my pageant experience very seriously this year. I am investing my own money and my own time to improving my performance and my preparation for each of the pageants, because I'm changing my approach this year on how I'm competing in pageants, and I'm competing in not just one, I'm competing in 3. There is opportunities for people who want to collaborate with me on my pageant journey through sponsorship, so that we can make it happen. Basically, if you're an individual or you're a business or you are a brand of some sort, you want to get your brand out there, or you want people to talk about the issues you care about, especially if it aligns with my advocacy in science, we can collaborate together. And if you are a creative, like if you're in the fashion, beauty, design spaces or whatever it is, we can collaborate together. You can put together my looks, you can do my hair, my makeup, design my gown. You can support my pageant journey however you want, and we can potentially collaborate together. It will be really awesome. I will list the beauty pageants below as well, like their proper names and the committees that are running them. So if you're ever interested in supporting me or the pageant in general, you can, contact the right people. If that's something you're interested in, please leave me a comment below. Feel free to message me directly on Instagram if you want to have a chat, or you can even send me an email on my business email, info@salceology.com, if you want to start the conversation. Also, if your brand is probably something that doesn't fit in the science advocacy, or maybe you're not like a service-based business and you're a product-based business and you have like products that you want to sell to people, I am potentially having Salceology gift bags on all the tables of my guests who pay tickets to see me at the pageants. You can potentially put a product in those gift bags as a form of brand awareness if that's what you like to do. Let's be honest, I have no clue what the hell I'm doing, but I'm approaching pageantry the way I approach my scientific career. And I'm going to be strategic, I'm going to use my intuition, and I'm going to plan and prepare very well this year. And so that's what my vlogs are going to feature soon, just all the preparation I'm doing. So I'm very excited for this journey. I'm excited to work with you if you'd like to work with me. Watch this space. The room is getting really dark now because it's I've been filming for hours and it's nighttime now, so that's probably a sign for me to stop talking now. Thank you so much for watching and staying through this whole video. Let me know in the comments if you've got any questions, comments, anything. Talk to me. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.